Find out which DJ will be performing at next month's Big 12 men's and women's basketball tournament in Kansas City. Plus, some injury news in the Big 12 and more on today's Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Good afternoon. It's me, KG, Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. Welcome to today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Today's takeover is presented by Afrikan Center of Well-Being for your holistic healthcare needs. Go to the website www.acwbinc.org. That is www.acwbinc.org or call 713-639-3571. And of course, the takeover is powered by JM&E. In addition to YouTube, the takeover is available on Roku via the BS3 Network. Please do me a favor, do us a favor. Part of us is the BS3 family. If you have Roku, just download BS3 TV. If not, you can go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com and watch this show and other great content available via Roku and via the BS3 TV app. Going to get into it. As you are watching this show, I am on the job at my school, in my office. So thank you very much for taking time out of your lunch schedule to watch the takeover and get into it. Some news and notes I want to share. And before I'm just going to get into it. It's going to be Big 12 news. Some injury news really hit the Big 12 conference men's basketball specifically. Really brutal news the last few days, starting with Saturday. BYU's senior forward Richie Saunders injured in the first 45 seconds of their game. Announced on Sunday he tore his ACL. He's out for the season. And then Tuesday night, in a game that they ended up losing, Texas Tech All-American, reigning Big 12 Player of the Year, JT Toppin, suffered an injury to his right knee. And it was announced Wednesday that JT suffered a torn ACL, and he is out for the rest of the season. And that goes along with Cole Pete, Arizona freshman, has suffered a lower leg injury. That's all Arizona is sharing right now. But he's out Wednesday's game, as well as the Saturday matchup in Houston between Arizona and the Houston Cougars, tipping off 2 o'clock on ABC. So three key players are injured. 2 of them have suffered torn ACLs, and they're definitely out for the season. I'm choosing to believe that Arizona's Cole Pete has not suffered a torn ACL, because if he had, I think Arizona would have announced it by now. All we know is he has a lower leg injury. That's what it is, lower leg injury. But I wish a healthy recovery to all 3 of those athletes. Notice I said a healthy recovery, not a speedy recovery. Healthy recovery is more important than a speedy recovery. They're young, got a chance to be pros, so I wish them well going forward. H-Town Hoops, get into it. Then I'll get into the Big 12 news and the DJ announcement. Houston Cougars, the score is wrong there. Y'all know it. Cougs lost 70-67 Monday to Iowa State, not 70-64. 70-67 to Iowa State in Ames on Big Monday. And I'm going to say this, they're now 11-2 in the Big 12, 23-3 overall. But let me say this. I want to put my shiny bald head on the bigger screen. Houston had a 10-point lead with 7 minutes to go Monday night in Ames, Iowa. Were outscored 17-4 in the closing 7 minutes. Missed a lot of 3-point attempts. A lot of those threes were taken late in the shot clock. Houston didn't attack as quickly as I like personally. They waited too long in the shot clock to attack Iowa State's defense. And I'm curious to see, as you watch this show on Thursday or whenever you watch it before Saturday's game against Arizona, if the rotation is going to change. 11 Cougs played Monday. As the team gets closer and closer to Big 12 tournament play and then the NCAA tournament, will Houston tighten their rotation and go from 11 to 10 to 9, maybe even just 8? If it's just 8, give those 3 guys off the bench more minutes to play and play consistent minutes. So we'll see if that happens. But 11 guys played in the first half. Maybe 9 played in the second half, but one of the reasons for that was because Houston senior Emmanuel Sharp got in foul trouble. Picked up 3 of his. He had picked up 1 foul in the first half, which is great. But then he picked up 3 fouls quickly, like the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half, and he sat down for like 10 minutes of the second half. And without him, Houston's offense bogged down. Spacing was poor, and he's Houston's best 3-point shooter. Without him, Houston struggled. And then he fouled out down the stretch as well. So will Houston make changes? Will the bench players, earn the trust and the minutes for Coach Sampson and the staff to earn those minutes and take those minutes and assume and grab hold of the 6th, 7th, and 8th spots in the rotation going forward, starting on Saturday against Arizona and then Monday against Kansas? Fall Gallon Fieldhouse, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Just my 2 cents there. But back to it. Back to the H-Town news and notes. Cougs men's team, 23-3 overall, 11-2 in Big 12. They beat Arizona on Saturday. I think they will. It's home game for the Cougs. I think they'll still be in great shape to win the Big 12 regular season. Got to do it. They have to win. They got some help from the Creighton Blue Jays. Creighton went into UConn and beat UConn Wednesday night. So that pretty much ends UConn's hopes of being a 1 seed. So now I think it's down to Houston, Iowa State, and Illinois for that 4th number 1 spot, 1 seed. Houston do their part. They'll be a 1 or a 2, and I think they can still have a great chance to play in Houston at Toyota Center in the round of the Sweet 16 Elite 8, assuming, of course, they win their first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. Really not much to get into women's basketball, the Cougs side. More losses for Matthew Mitchell and his Cougars. Lost by 22 points to ranked TCU team Wednesday night, February 18th. That's after losing by 14 last Saturday at Kansas. They're now 7-19 overall, 1-14 in the Big 12. I really don't see where another win is going to come from in conference play for the Houston Cougars women's team, but time will tell. Their next 2 games are in Arizona, at Arizona State on Saturday, and then at Arizona on Tuesday. Prairie View men with a good, surprising to me, win over Grambling State, bounced back after losing to Southern on Saturday, Valentine's Day. Beat the G-Men Monday, February 16th, in a low-scoring game for Prairie View men's hoops, 68-63. Next 2 games on the road at Mississippi Valley State, Thursday, tonight, as you're watching the show, and then Saturday in Arkansas against Pine Bluff. Thursday game against the Valley will be on SWAC TV. Prairie View women still winless in SWAC. Similar to UH women's basketball, I don't see where their win's going to come from for Coach Ty Dillard in her first year at the helm for Prairie View on the Hill. They're now 0-13 in SWAC play, 2-22 overall, coming off losses against Grambling and Southern. They're on the road Thursday against Mississippi Valley, SWAC TV, Arkansas Pine Bluff. On Saturday, Rice men lost at home Valentine's night or afternoon to East Carolina, 85-75 to 5-8 in the American. Rice is now 5-8 in the American. They're back on that 10-11 seed standing in the American. Only 10 teams qualify for the American Conference men's and women's basketball tournaments, 10 in men, 10 in women. Rice is, it's kind of iffy if they're going to qualify for the conference tournament. We shall see. They're 11-15 overall. Their next game at Tulane, Sunday, 1 o'clock on ESPN+. Opposite of the Rice men are the Rice women. Rice women, 13-0 in the American, 23-3 overall, winners of 18 straight games after winning Tuesday 79-72 over South Florida. Coach Edmonds and her squad undefeated in conference play. Clearly, they're already clinched a spot in the American Conference tournament. I think they're in great position to clinch to a semifinal double bye of the conference tournament. So that means they only have to win 2 games to reach the NCAA tournament. But they'll have to do it. They are not in a position. They are not in position to receive an at-large berth in the NCAA women's tournament. Despite winning 18 straight games, despite being undefeated in conference play, despite being 23-3, Rice women's basketball still has to win the American Conference tournament to qualify for the NCAA women's basketball tournament. The non-conference schedule wasn't strong enough, period. And the American is a one-bid league. Almost all of Rice's conference games this season are Q4 games. That's quadrant 4. So they don't have a chance to get quality wins Q1, Q2 in conference play because the rest of the conference isn't good enough, has not carried their weight. So Rice has to win the conference tournament to earn the automatic berth to the postseason. And that, of course, the NCAA tournament. TSU men, 7-6 in SWAC, 9-15 overall. Coming off a 1-point win over Southern. Made 2 free throws with 1 second left to win the game and defeat Southern, defeat the Jaguars. Beat Grambling on Saturday, and then beat Southern Monday night. Thursday in Pine Bluff, getting Arkansas against Pine Bluff. Game can be seen on SWAC TV, 7:30 tip-off. Women's team, TSU Lady Tigers, are now 5-8 in SWAC. They've lost 4 in a row. Lost last Thursday to Southern by 12, then lost by 23 at home to Grambling on Saturday. They're in Arkansas Thursday night against Pine Bluff, 5:30, I think 5 o'clock on SWAC TV, roughly 30 minutes between games. It's a double hitter in Pine Bluff between TSU and Arkansas Pine Bluff. And then Saturday at Mississippi Valley. So they got to turn it around. But all SWAC teams qualify for postseason for the SWAC tournament. So unlike the American, all 12 SWAC teams qualify for the SWAC tournament. Only 10 of the 13 teams qualify for the American tournament. As I teased in the opening, a new DJ will be performing at the Big 12 men's, in Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament. Performance will be Saturday, March 14th. My birthday, Saturday, March 14th, my 54th birthday. If I live that far, if the Lord says the same, I'll make it to March 14th in Kansas City. I'm still planning to be there. That DJ is, you know what? No, if I can do it on the fly here. Drum roll, please. DJ Khaled, we the best, will be performing at the Big 12 after party Saturday, March 14th, after the Big 12 men's title game. Hopefully the Cougars will be part of that title game, but regardless, I'll still be there watching the game anyway. Here's more info about it. DJ Khaled to headline the Big 12 basketball tournament after party. Wednesday, the Big 12 Conference announced that Grammy Award-winning global icon DJ Khaled will headline the Big 12 basketball tournament after party presented by Venmo, an official partner of the Big 12. The event will take place at KC Live in the Power and Light District on Saturday, March 14th. Once again, my birthday. Following the conclusion of the men's championship game at T-Mobile Center. DJ Khaled's appearance will mark his first ever performance in Kansas City. The Big 12 basketball tournament after party is free for fans to attend and serves as the culmination of 2 weeks of fan activations and community celebrations across Kansas City surrounding the 2026 Big 12 men's and women's basketball tournaments. Venmo debit card users and a guest will receive exclusive access and perks at the after party. Ooh, wow. Quote, we are continually investing in ways to elevate the Big 12 basketball tournaments and deliver an unforgettable experience for our fans, said Tyrell Kirkham, Chief Brand and Business Officer for the Big 12. DJ Khaled is an incredible performer, and we know he will put on a high-energy show. From elite competition on the court to world-class entertainment off it, our goal is to create a championship atmosphere that blends sports and culture in a way only the Big 12 can. Kansas City has been an outstanding partner in helping us bring that vision to life, end quote. Quote from DJ Khaled, the Big 12 tournament is one of the biggest and best. I'm looking forward to bringing that energy to the tournament after party with a performance and connecting with the fans. Young world, the world is yours. You are now and you are the future. Keep going. We the best, said DJ Khaled. Additional enhancements for the 2026 Big 12 men's and women's basketball tournaments will be announced in the coming weeks. Yes, the Big 12 is not done making their announcements. Trust me. Wink, wink. Now, players of the week. I touched on it. Texas Tech's JT Toppin was named player of the week. Will be his last time, probably, unless they give him to him for the numbers he did. I doubt that, though. Tuesday, they lost at Arizona State. But JT Toppin was named player of the week. And BYU's Eddie DeBonso was named newcomer of the week last week. Toppin scored 31 points with 13 rebounds in the 78-75 overtime win against number one Arizona at Arizona. It marked the 9th game of 30-plus points and 10-plus rebounds of his Texas Tech career, and only the second career 30-10 performance against a number one ranked team in Big 12 history. Toppin had 16 points with 18 rebounds in Wednesday's 78-44 thrashing, butt-kicking over Colorado last Wednesday. He averaged 23.5 points and 15.5 rebounds to procure his 4th Big 12 Player of the Week selection of the season and 6th of his career. And once again, if you're just not joining, JT Toppin, this honor was for play ending last Sunday, February 15th. He suffered an injury February 17th and was announced on February 18th. The injury was a torn ACL in his right knee, so he is out for the rest of the season. AJ DeBonsa averaged 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 7.5 assists, while averaging 41.5 minutes as the BYU Cougars went 2-0. At Baylor, DeBonsa poured in 36 points and added 7 dimes as BYU captured a 99-94 win. DeBonsa had 20 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals in their 90-86 overtime win over Colorado. This marks the 5th newcomer of the week selection in the past 8 weeks for AJ. Joining Toppin and DeBonsa on the Big 12 starting 5, which honors strong performances across the league, were Baylor's Tunde Yesufu, BYU's Rob Wright, and Houston's Emmanuel Sharp. Yesufu averaged 26.5 points against a pair of AP top 25 opponents, including a 37-point outburst against number 22 BYU, the most in program history against a ranked opponent. Rob Wright averaged 34.5 points and 4.5 rebounds while shooting 64.9% from the floor. Emmanuel Sharp scored at least 23 points in both of Houston's wins last week, as Houston moved into sole possession of first place in the league standings. There's a Big 12 starting five as of February 16th, for February 16th. Tunde Yesufu, Baylor. AJ DeBonsa, BYU, newcomer of the week. Rob Wright, BYU. Emmanuel Sharp, Houston. And J.T. Toppin, Texas Tech, named player of the week. Women's side. Record set as KU's Davis and TCU's Miles collect weekly Big 12 women's basketball honors. TCU's Olivia Miles, player, and Kansas's Jalea Davis, freshman, again, obtained Big 12 Women's Basketball Weekly Awards for the 15th week of the 2025-26 season. Davis is the first player in league history to win Freshman of the Week 7 consecutive times. Arizona State's McKenna Brackens, Baylor's Talia Scott, and Colorado's Aniah Dutat joined the duo on the Big 12 starting five, which of course highlights strong performances from around the league. Olivia Miles led the Horned Frogs to back-to-back top 20 wins at then number 12 Baylor and against number 19 West Virginia. Miles scored 40 points, including 10 of 20 from downtown in TCU's 83-67 rivalry victory over Baylor. Her 40 points were the most in a game by any D1 player this season against a ranked team. Miles is the first player in NCAA history to make 10 threes against a top 25 team on the road and is one of just 2 players ever to connect at least 10 times from distance against a ranked team in any game. That's a hell of a stat. The Wooden Award late midseason top 20 Watts list member followed with a game-high 7 assists against West Virginia while adding 12 points and 7 rebounds in a 59-50 TCU win, the Horned Frogs' NCAA leading 40th consecutive home victory. She averaged 26 points, 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2.5 steals per game last week. This is Miles' second consecutive and 4th overall Big 12 Player of the Week title this season. Jalea Davis averaged 19.5 points and 4.5 rebounds for the Jayhawks during the week. The star freshman has scored double figures in each game she's played this season and recorded her 12th 20-point game of the season with 25 points against Houston. Davis ranks second in Big 12 play this season and first nationally among freshmen in conference games with 22.4 points per game. McKenna Brackens led Arizona State to 2 wins during the week, including leading the Sun Devils in scoring with 24 points in a rivalry overtime victory against Arizona. The Sun Devils came from behind to beat Arizona in that game. Bracken scored 19 of her points either in the second half or overtime, which included hitting the game-tying shot with 3.3 seconds left in the second half. Very good shot. Not really against great defense, but still was a good shot. And now Dutat averaged a double-double for the week with 15.5 points per game and 11.5 rebounds per game as the Buffaloes beat BYU and Houston. Talia Scott averaged 24 points on the week and scored her 1,000th career point, becoming the 22nd player since 2000 to reach the mark in 48 games or less. Of course, the 2026 Big 12 Women's basketball tournament returns to Kansas City's T-Mobile Center from March 4th through 8th or 9th. If BYU reaches the championship game, they won't. Featuring all 16 Big 12 women's basketball programs competing for the conference's postseason title and an automatic berth in the NCAA tournament. The starting five: McKenna Brackens, Arizona State; Talia Scott, Baylor; Aniah Lutot, Colorado; Leah Davis, Kansas, freshman of the week for the 7th straight time; Olivia Miles, TCU, player of the week for the 4th time this season and the 2nd straight week. Bottom of the hour on this brief, shortened edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. Once again, presented by Afrikan Center of Wellbeing. For your holistic healthcare needs, visit www.acwbinc.org or call 713-639-3571. Once again, call 713-639-3571 or go to the website acwbinc.org. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover on YouTube at the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, or you're watching it on Roku via the BS3 Network. Now I'm going to play the promo to give you a better idea of what BS3 TV is all about, and I'll be back in 90 seconds.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to today's Houston Roundball Review Takeover. And again, today's Takeover is presented by the Afrikan Center of Wellbeing. For your holistic healthcare needs, visit acwbinc.org or call 713-639-3571. In case you're wondering, I'm not going to talk about Kevin Durant and his burner accounts, accusations, whatever. May do that on a future Let's Talk Houston Rockets show, but that's going to be a live show when I interact with the fans directly. I'm recording this show, so if you want to comment on your thoughts on KD, feel free to add comments in the area below the video as you're watching. That's much to say on it right now. It could be bad, it could be worse. Who knows? We'll see how it all comes out in the wash. But these final moments of today's Takeover, American Conference Weekly Honors. For week 15 of the regular season, Wes Ennis, junior guard at South Florida, averaged 21.5 points and 6 rebounds as the Bulls defeated Wichita State and Florida Atlantic on the road to solidify their lead in the American Conference standings. He recorded a double-double with 16 points and 11 rebounds. 11 rebounds for a guard against the Shockers on February 11th, before dropping 27 points, including 5 3-pointers in an overtime win over the Florida Atlantic Owls. Because remember, the American has the Rice Owls, Temple Owls, and the Florida Atlantic Owls. Freshman of the week goes to Josiah Parker, again, From Florida Atlantic, Parker averaged 19 points and 10 rebounds in games against Rice and South Florida last week. The forward registered double-doubles in both games, including 25 points and 10 rebounds against Rice on February 11th, before recording 13 points and 10 rebounds against the Bulls on February 15th. Women's side, Player of the Week, Kennedy Fauntleroy from East Carolina. She led the Pirates to a pair of road wins over Tulane and Temple, averaging 21 points, 3.5 assists, 2.5 steals, and 2 rebounds in the wins. Freshman of the Week, McKaylin Marshall from Tulane, averaged 19.5 points in a pair of games for the Green Wave, including a career-high 34 points in the game against East Carolina. It was the most by a Tulane freshman since 1999. Now switching to Rice basketball. Rice men's and women's teams had players make the American Conference, once again, honorable mention teams. First up, Trae Broadnax for the second straight week and the fifth time this season. Rice graduate student guard Trae Broadnax has been named American Conference honorable mention. It's also the seventh honor of his career. Broadnax led the Rice Owls, to a 1-1 record, averaging 23.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. He began the week scoring 20 points and recording team highs of 6 rebounds and 5 assists in an 81-73 victory over Florida Atlantic. He followed that by scoring a career-high 27 points while adding 4 boards and 4 assists against East Carolina. On the week, he connected on 47.2% from the floor and 90.9% from the free throw line. Rice women's Aniah Alexis earned another spot on the American honorable mention. Rice sophomore Aniah Alexis received another conference recognition after being named to the American Conference honorable mention for the 5th time this season. The league announced this on Monday. Alexis led the Rice Owls, to a 2-0 week featuring wins over North Texas and Wichita State. Alexis first led Rice's comeback against the Mean Green with 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. She later added 13 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, an assist, and block against the Wichita State Shockers. On the week, Alexis averaged 14.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game. And then, of course, Rice extended their winning streak to 18 games with Tuesday's win over South Florida. But again, I'm beating the dead horse. As much success as they are enjoying right now, Rice Owls women's basketball still needs to win the American Conference tournament in order to qualify for the NCAA women's tournament. Next, SWAC. Men's basketball honors first, week ending February 17th. The SWAC has tabbed Prairie View A&M's Dante Horn, Jackson State's Deshaun Ruffin, and Grambling State's Jamil Mudalib for SWAC Men's Basketball Weekly Awards. And Jamil's family, I apologize if I am mispronouncing your name. Dante Horn led all league scores in points per game during this past week of competition. He averaged 36 points per game while pacing Prairie View A&M offensively. Deshaun Ruffin was impressive this past week as he led Jackson State offensively. He averaged 26.5 points per game during JSU's outings against Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. Jamil was a key contributor for Grambling State during this past week of competition. He averaged 25.5 points per game to go along with 6 rebounds per game for the G-Men Tigers. SWAC Women's Hoops. The SWAC has tabbed Alabama A&M's Kalia Walker and Jada Belton, along with Alabama State's Charlize McClendon for SWAC Women's Basketball Weekly Awards. Player of the week, Kalia Walker, shot 55%, 11 for 20 from the floor to help Alabama A&M to a perfect 2-0 week, 2-0 record during the week, with victories over Arkansas Pine Bluff and Mississippi Valley State. She averaged 17 points, 2.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 2 steals in the 2 games. Impact player goes to Jada Belton. Jada averaged nearly a double-double in a pair of victories for the Bulldogs last week. She shot 52.2% from the field, 12 for 23 from the floor, averaging 13 points and 9.5 rebounds, along with 1.5 blocks, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Charlize McClendon was named the newcomer of the week. She helped the Hornets to a 2-0 record with wins over Arkansas Pine Bluff and Mississippi Valley State this past week. She scored 10 points and had 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block against Valley. McClendon recorded her 3rd double-double of the season, scoring 10 points and grabbing 15 rebounds against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Next, as you wind down today's edition of the Takeover, a reminder and encouragement. I'm urging you, please support the Houston Roundball Review by becoming a YouTube member. The All-League tier, price of $2.99 per month. The All-World tier, $4.99 per month, and you will receive early access to new videos, content, video format, written format that I won't share with anybody else. Members get that exclusive information, insider info, and I may have some inside info to share and post Thursday. Hint, hint, hint. Thursday afternoon, evening after I return from school/work. So once again, scan that QR code, become a member of the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members only section, 2 tiers. Price starts at $2.99 per month for the All-League tier or $4.99 per month for the All-World tier. Thank you in advance for your support. In addition, you can order some Houston Roundball Review merch. The winter season is still here, a little bit more. Also, you can't really tell it here in H-Town, but a cool fun is on its way, reportedly. But you can scan that QR code to order some merch. You can buy a Roundball Review mug, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, once a Coug merchandise in sweatshirts, hoodie, or pants. So different ways, an additional way to show your support, wear your support of the Houston Roundball Review. That will do it on today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. One more time, today's Takeover, presented by Afrikan Center of Wellbeing. For your holistic healthcare needs, visit www.acwbinc.org or call 713-639-3571. Once again, today's show, today's Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the lunch break, presented by Afrikan Center of Wellbeing. For your holistic healthcare needs, go to the website www.acwbinc.org. That is www.acwbinc.org or call 713-639-3571. Cougs host Arizona. Battle for first place. Arizona defeated BYU Wednesday night by 7. Game will be shown on ABC as well. Cougs win Saturday and then go to Kansas to Allen Fieldhouse to face the Jayhawks. I think they can win on Big Monday as well, but first things first. Facing Arizona this Saturday in Houston at Fertitta Center, 2 o'clock on ABC. And I'm wondering, based on what was shown in Monday's loss at Iowa State by 3, 70-67, if it's time to make some changes in the rotation, if it's time to shrink the rotation. Maybe we'll see that starting on Saturday. Time will tell. But it's up to those guys, those players coming off the bench to grab hold of those minutes and get it done. Show it in practice first that they are worth the time and money, time and minutes starting on Saturday against Arizona. Regardless, Let's Rage Cougs will discuss it after the game. So join us, me, Andy, Dayon, and Fluff McKeever for the next edition of Let's Rage Cougs postgame show, the original postgame show for Houston football and men's basketball, here on the Houston Roundball Review on YouTube or on Pod Slamma Jamma on Twitter and Twitch, Houston Roundball Review on Facebook. So different ways to watch the growing in popularity Let's Rage Cougs post-game shows. But that will do it for today's edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E, streaming on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel, as well as on Roku via the BS3 Network. I am Kris Gardner. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest and support of the Houston Roundball Review, for your interest and support in today's takeover. And again, I'll discuss the Rockets when I have time to do so on a future upcoming episode of Let's Talk Houston Rockets. But truly, the sponsors of shows, the numbers are dwindling. The support in the YouTube member section is not as high as I would like it to be. So it's getting tougher and tougher to continue doing these shows. But for those who are supporting me, thank you from the bottom of my heart. That'll wrap it up. And you know this if you have watched the shows for a long, long time or for the most recent shows. Since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review, local name, global perspective. Everyone, please take care. Peace.